Okay, so your question was 1/12 of a mile. We were to yards and feet. So 1 mile, we're going to convert that 1/12 of a mile, put it over 1, convert it into yards first. So miles and yards, 1 mile, 1,760 yards. Miles go bye-bye. 1,760 times 1/12. 146.667. We're going to put it this way, 146 and 2/3 yards. So it is 146 yards. The 2/3, yeah. Because there's 3 feet in a yard, 2/3 of a yard is 2 feet. Any other questions off the homework? Yesterday, Mark, we just did the next section on each of those. There's 2 pages, so we did the next section on each page, which is just adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing with measurements. Okay, so anyway, remember yesterday, one of you at least remembers yesterday, we talked about operations with measurements, and we talked about when we multiplied 2 measurements. We can't use the dual units, in the standard measurement system especially. We can't use the dual units anymore. If I have something like 5 feet 3 inches times 3 feet 6 inches. For every other operation, or for addition and subtraction at least, I leave them as dual units. And if I'm multiplying by a scalar or a counting number, I can leave them as dual units. But if I'm multiplying one measurement by another measurement, I could multiply these out, but I'm going to end up with square feet and inch feet and square inches. I'm going to end up with 3 different units in my result. And it just doesn't make much sense that way. So typically, we either convert everything into inches or everything into feet. So to convert these into inches, 5 feet 3 inches, how am I going to convert that into inches? 5 times 12 is 60 plus 3, 63 inches. 3 feet 6 inches, how am I going to convert that into inches? Perfect. 3 times 12 is 36 plus 6, 42 inches. So now 63 times 42, 2646. 2,646. Now remember, we also multiply the names. Inches times inches makes inches squared, square inches. Over here, how do I turn this all into feet? Well, 5 feet 3 inches is 5 3/12 of a foot. Or 5 1/4, or 5.25. 3 foot 6 inches is 3 6/12 of a foot. Or 3.5, 3.5. 5.25 times 3.5, 18.375 square feet. So 5 foot 3 inches times 3 foot 6 inches is either 2,646 square inches or 18.375 square feet. Is 18 3/8, yeah, that would be fine as well. Looking at these two, though, it looks a little funny. These are the exact same area. But if I take this one times 12, what do I get? Not 2,646, is it? Why not? Well, because it's not inches and feet, it is square inches and square feet. If I multiply it by 12 a second time, though, there it is. Why did I have to multiply by 12 twice? 'Cause yeah, that's where we're going with this. Because this is an area, it has two dimensions. Multiplying by 12 converted this one from feet to inches, but I had to convert this one as well. I have to do 12 twice. Realistically, when we're looking at areas, 1 square foot is defined to be a square that is 1 foot on each side. 1 foot by 1 foot. Well, 1 foot is 12 inches. 12 inches by 12 inches is 12 times 12, or 144 inches squared. 1 square foot equals 144 square inches. So if I have 7 square feet and I want to convert that into square inches, I'm going to do 7 square feet over 1. Square feet into square inches. 1 square foot is 144 square inches. Square feet cancel out. That is 7 times 144. 1,008 square inches. Or, if I have 5,184 square inches, and I want to convert it back into square feet. (5,184 square inches over 1. Square inches on bottom, square feet on top. 1 square foot is 144 square inches. Square inches cancel out. 5,184 square feet over 144. 5,184 divided by 144 is 36. What do you think? Still better than a sharp stick in the eye? Cool. Well, then how about 5 square yards into square feet? It's not 15. One square yard, remember, it's defined to be 1 yard by 1 yard. And 1 yard, of course, is 3 feet. So 3 feet by 3 feet is 9 square feet. So 1 square yard equals 9 square feet. For this over here, 5 square yards over 1. Put square yards on bottom, going into square feet. 1 square yard is 9 square feet. Square yard cancel. 5 times 9 is 45 square feet. So not 5 square yards is 45 square feet. Questions? In your notes, figure that one out for me. Yeah, I did that on intentional. That's not on your cheat sheet. 1 rod squared, of course, is 1 rod by 1 rod, right? 1 rod is how many yards? 5.5 yards by 5.5 yards. 5.5 by 5.5 is 30.25 square yards in 1 square rod. Yes? 30.25. Actually, you're right. That should have been, I meant to say 121 square yards and made this work out better. So, yeah, the square yards cancel out. You end up with 124 square rods over 30.25. That's what I get for making up the problems on the fly. It is 4.10. Square rods. I was trying to make it come out perfect, but it should have been 121 and 124. The little hamster hasn't made it all the way on the wheel today. He's just sitting behind the wheel, kind of trying to swat it with his paw and keep it going. Yeah. How about this one? What's different here? It's cubic feet, cubic inches. So, as expected, 1 cubic foot is 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot, which of course is 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches. 1,728 cubic inches and 1 cubic foot. Yep. So we set this up. 1 cubic foot is 1,728 cubic inches.
So how do you know where to put that big number on top of that?
The units tell me. Notice I put in the units before I write in any numbers. There's feet here, so I have to have feet on bottom to make them cancel out. So that means the inches go on top. And then the relationship is 1 foot is 1,728 inches, or cubic inches. So the units tell me where the numbers have to go.
Does it change if you're going up versus down?
Yes. So this one comes out to be 5,184 inches cubed. What if I gave you, we had 10,368 cubic inches, and I want to convert that into cubic feet? So we're getting rid of inches cubed, so inches cubed go on bottom. Feet cubed on top. 1 cubic foot is 1,728. Since this is on bottom, we're going to divide by it. Get 6. Now the other thing you can do, it's a little bit of a shortcut. I like showing the dimensional analysis method because when we do compound units in a couple of days, that's going to be vital. But we're going from cubic inches to cubic feet. Are the units getting bigger or smaller? Units are getting bigger, right? From inches to feet. So the number has to get smaller. So we're going to divide by whatever the conversion is. Here, we went from cubic feet to cubic inches. The units were getting smaller, so the number has to get larger. Because the overall value has to stay the same. Now here's a calculation I actually use a lot. Let's say we have 567 cubic feet. I want to convert it into cubic yards. So I set this up, cubic feet on bottom, cubic yards on top. Of course, the yards are the bigger ones, so that's going to be 1. 1 cubic yard is how many cubic feet? There we go. 3 by 3 by 3 is 27. Basically, you're taking the linear conversion factor, the 3 feet in a yard, and you're cubing it. So the feet cancel out. This is going to be 567 divided by 27 is going to be 21. Why would I use that calculation a lot? Exactly right. Used to do a lot of concrete work. I still do some. Used to do a lot of concrete work. So if you had a slab, let's say for a driveway that was 40 feet by 18 feet by 6 inches thick. Your cubic feet of concrete there is 40 by 18 by 6/12. That's 6 inches thick, right? Which is 360 cubic feet. Those are all in feet. That's why I made the 6/12 because it's now in feet. So it's 360 cubic feet. To make that cubic yards, got to divide by 27. Now, generally, I would just estimate that in my head and say that's about 14 cubic yards. But to be exact, it is 13.33. What I always did is I divided by 25 instead of 27, which gave me a 2%, or not, it gave me like an 8% margin of error. And the reason I use 25 instead of 27 is, well, every 100 has 4 25s in it. So 300 is 3 times 12, 4 is 12, and then 2 more gets you up to 350. So that's why I said 14 was my estimate. What's that? Yeah. I know a lot of people that do concrete work that don't calculate their own. They'll just call the ready mix plant and say, okay, I've got a slab. And they've got the scales there. Actually, I think now they're computerized now, but they used to be little cardboard slide scales. You've seen those when you were a kid, that, like the decoder keys or whatever, the piece slid through and you got the little window you're looking through and you line up. Now I'm sure it's computerized, but they put in, this is the slab is this by this with this thickness. This is how many yards you need. Or a lot of times they'll do on the edge, they'll do an extra couple inches thick on the edge so the edges don't break off on the side of your driveway. They call that a footing. So if there's an extra footing. In our metric system, we're going to go back to our lovely little chart. Meters. What's the next one going to this direction here? This is decimeters, centimeters, and millimeters. Then you'd skip 2 spots and it'd be micrometers. We're going to leave those out for now. Going to the left, this one is decameters, then hectometers, and kilometers. Nate's favorite. So now, you're looking at me funny. Okay, so now we have 3.2 meters going into centimeters. From meters to centimeters is 2 spots to the right. So to make that conversion, we move the decimal point 2 spots to the right. We added a 0. It's 320 centimeters. What if, however, what if it wasn't 3.2 meters? What if it's 3.2 square meters? We're going into square centimeters. Well, the reason we were able to move that decimal point 1 spot for each spot on the chart is because every spot on the chart is either multiplying by 10 or dividing by 10, right? Depending on which direction we're going. Multiplying by 10 going this way, dividing by 10 going that way. If it's squared units, it's not 10 anymore, it's 10 by 10, which is 100. Well, when you multiply or divide by 100, what's it do to the decimal point? It goes over 2 spots. So now every spot on the chart becomes 2 decimal places. So to get from meters to centimeters is still 2 spots on the chart. How many decimal places do I have to move? 4. 2 times 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to add 3 zeros now. What if it was meters cubed and centimeters cubed? go. It'd be 10 by 10 by 10 or 1,000, which means each place on the chart is 3 spots over. So yeah, the 2 spots here would make it 6 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to add 5 zeros in there. 3,200,000. Look like fun?
No.
So 780 millimeters squared into centimeters squared. How many spots on the chart? Millimeters to centimeters is 1 spot on the chart, right? So the decimal point has to go 2. Because it's squared. 1 spot on the chart would normally be 1 decimal place, but since it's square units, it's double that. From meters, this is 570,000 meters squared to kilometers squared. So first we're going to look at meters to kilometers. On the chart, meters to kilometers is 3 spots to the left. Are we going to move 3 spots? Say no. Why not?
Because it's squared.
Because it's squared, so that means we have to double it. We go 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 0.57 square kilometers. .2 centimeters cubed into millimeters cubed. Centimeters to millimeters is 1 spot to the right. Are we going to move 1 spot? No. We got to triple it because it's cubed. So we got to go 1, 2, 3 spots. 4,200 millimeters cubed. How about 78,000 meters into millimeters? Meters to millimeters is 3 spots to the right. Are we going to move the decimal 3 spots? Yeah. This is just meters and millimeters, so we're just going to move however many spots are on the chart. Right? So 0.84 meters squared going into centimeters squared. How many spots on the chart? Meters to centimeters is 2 spots on the chart, right? Are we going to move 2? We're going to double it because it's squared. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8,400. (9,100) cubic centimeters to cubic meters. Centimeters to meters is 2 spots to the left on the chart. Are we going to move 2? No, we're not going to move. It's 2 spots on the chart, but it's cubed, which means we have to do what to the 2? Times 3, so it's going to be 6 spots. 4, 5, 6. We've got to put those zeros in there. So it's 0.0091. What do you think? Tons of fun? The only way to get really good at these is to do a bunch of them. So this homework assignment is going to be slightly bigger than the rest. So page 237 in that packet of, again, 25 to 42. And page 265, 23 to 40. For those of you that weren't here yesterday, we did that section that was just before those on each page. So we haven't skipped any problems on each page. I'll let you guys have the last 18 minutes of class here to get started on those.